G'day guys, Duckville here. We are going to have a look at a 2v2 that I found on PlayXP. As you know, I sort of hang around PlayXP a bit, which is a Korean replay website, as you can see here. We have some interesting names here actually in this match. Down here in the bottom left corner, we have Terran Satanachia, I mean, who will be playing the Terran here in that really annoying color, especially on this map. And we have MansonPrime, who I believe is actually on the Prime gaming team, which is one of the big new teams in the SC2 scene in Korea. And opposing them in the top right corner of Twilight Fortress will be this particular Protoss player here. And I believe his name is something along the lines of MaiRa. And then we also have the Terran here in the blue, whose name ironically is Terran. All of these players are actually really highly ranked on the servers, the ones that I could find. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Terran just because he has such a generic name. There are about 80,000 players named Terran on the Korean server, so I couldn't actually find the particular one. Although that said, I was pretty lazy and I didn't really search that hard. Now, so this particular map, I'm not sure if I've casted one on Twilight Fortress before, but for those of you playing at home who haven't played on this map, pretty much this is an in-base natural here for both of the players on the team. You have one ramp to defend, but it is a big ramp, so generally both players do have to help wall, which is what you would usually see on this map. It's a pretty good map in terms of gameplay. I really do like this one. The only thing I don't like is the actual tile set. It looks really freaky sometimes, especially if you've got different brightness on your actual setup. But I don't know. Anyway, nothing actually too amazing coming out of either of the players just yet. Any of the players have. None of them have gotten anything cheesy or anything like that. We've got everyone sort of going very standard builds at the moment. Although, interestingly, Terran has... he's actually a bit lower on the harvester count. I'm not really sure why. He's going for early Reaper. He's got one Reaper coming out. So we're going to see some early Reaper play here. And what have we got to defend from the team in the bottom left? They've got... nothing just yet, but I believe, yeah, we've got a Marauder popping out. So the Marauder should be able to fend off the Reaper if he can actually catch it in time. And MansonPrime doesn't have anything just yet. He's probably... he's got a Zealot to protect the front door, but obviously that is not going to help against this Reaper. Now this Reaper is coming up here into the base. As you can see, there's a lot of cliffs here that you have to look out for. So Reaper play is a pretty interesting... strategy that you can use at the start here. The Reaper gets one kill, it's about to get a second, and possibly a third. The Marauder comes over to stop it, but it looks as if he might get away. No, the Marauder takes that one down. Meanwhile, at the front door, a probe tries to get in here, but the Zealot that's standing here gives him the don't argue fist and pushes him away. So Marauder actually comes out to give him some hell as well. So there you go, that probe goes down. Now, key things on this map, which some players do seem to miss when they play on this map, is that there are 4 watchtowers. A lot of people only think that there are just these 2 in the middle, but a lot of the times these ones on the side here can actually provide a lot of vision that can be very useful. Lots of players, when they play on this map, will try and drop and go through the side sort of passages to get to your opposing base, but if you have those towers, you can actually spot that sort of thing. So it is good to try and keep an eye, especially on those side towers. I really do like to get them. Terran's still sticky with his Reapers. He's got 3 Reapers here, but this one Stalker is going to try and take out all of these units here. There is a lot to deal with. He's probably not going to get away. There we go. He does go down. Now, we've still got two Reapers left over for Terran, and we've got a Dancing Zealot just here. He's doing the Macarena on... in the way of the wall there. And we also have a Void Ray coming out. We're going to see a Void Ray being chrono boosted out just at the moment. And what have we got to defend that? Nothing really too much to defend it just at the moment from either MaiRa or Terran. They're probably going to grab a couple of extra Stalkers, I would suspect. MaiRa is grabbing a forward pylon so we can warp in some units up here. It is another good part of this map in that you can, if you can take this sort of higher ground here, essentially you actually have these expansions to yourself if you can actually take care of them and you know, keep some defensive units up here. Reapers have found a proxy pylon from MansonPrime, so this pylon is going to go down. There it goes. We have the Void Ray finally coming across the map. We'll have to see how that Void Ray goes in just a second. No other Void Rays coming out just yet, but we've got one just on the map here. Both just the Terran player actually has expanded. Just Satanachia. I'm just going to give him random names each time. And he is the only one who's actually expanded at the moment. The Void Ray comes across. Void Ray is doing some damage here on the Tech Lab, which is going to be pretty pointless here, as there are a lot of Stalkers that come across to defend. So Stalkers taking care of that Void Ray getting forced out. Now, obviously, with the Void Rays, if you don't really get any useful damage done with them, they will generally be used for scouting purposes and also to supplement an army when you actually push. So keeping a Void Ray alive is actually really good if you can keep it going, because obviously they do provide a lot of damage if they sit in the back of an army that you actually have going across the map. So it's one good thing to do is to try and keep your Void Ray alive, even if you are actually not actually getting your harass going. We can see a fleet beacon is done, and we actually have a mothership being chronoed out. Well, it was being chronoed, but now mothership is about half done. He's got about 80 seconds to go, probably about a minute in real time till that mothership comes out. Now it is going to be really interesting how this game progresses once the mothership is out, because whilst MansonPrime doesn't really have too much himself, he's only really got this sort of force that's here, and his teammate doesn't really have too much just at the moment, but I would suspect his production is going to start ramping up in a minute, because he does have a Ghost coming out. He's got a lot of Marauders as well. Now, I believe they have seen this pretty decent sized army coming across from Terran and MaiRa. They've got a lot of Stalkers and a lot of Marauders here, and also some Marines as well to provide some DPS once they get across. Now, what we're going to see is, there it is, the mothership actually pops out. This is really good timing. I'm not sure, probably wasn't planned, but it is really good timing there that the mothership has finally popped out, because it is going to be able to cloak all of the buildings and of course the units that are here. And we can see we've got the battle is about to begin. We've got the Stalkers coming up. Guardian Shield is up as well. Stalkers are in the front, which is going to be a little bit detrimental, because the Zealots are going to be left in the back of the attacking force. And as we can see, there is no detection for Terran and MaiRa. They have no way to actually see any of the units that are here, and essentially all of the buildings as well, because all the buildings get the cloak from the mothership as well. Now, we're going to see the mothership push across the map. You don't really see this type of thing too often, and as I said, we've got a Ghost here, a couple of Ghosts here, and I think they've got a nuke. There could be a nuke popping up in just a second, guys, so we could see the sort of a strategy that was used earlier on during the beta, which was to vortex and then to actually nuke the forces that got put in. There it is. He actually puts the vortex down, and the nuke is about to go down. All of the units have been pulled inside the vortex there, and the nuke comes down, and just as everything pops out, bam! That is an absolutely awesome strategy here from MansonPrime and Satanachia. And they absolutely do a great job there, pulling off that particular strategy that actually just rips apart all of the forces that were here from Terran and MaiRa. But we're going to see, they're going to try and warp in some more units just to salvage some of the leftover units that were around. But there is really nothing that they can do just at the moment, just taking that absolutely massive hit. And they have no expansions just at the moment, which is really interesting, because they have been really slow pushing across the map. But I suppose they did have, well, they previously had a really large force, but that has now been absolutely decimated. A nuke goes up to sort of just to displace the units that could have been up the top of the ramp here, but he's still going to push ahead anyway. Pushes in, takes out a couple of units, and the nuke comes down. And he's trying to lure them in, but the Ghost doesn't actually get across. Mothership here still holding up and just collecting all of the units. They're probably just waiting for a couple more units to come through, and then they're going to push across again and try and push in and finish off Terran and MaiRa. So MansonPrime and Satanachia just sort of waiting around just to push in a minute, and Satanachia is also going to take out the gold base, and MansonPrime is also expanding as well. So some interesting play here. We're probably going to see a push in just a second. Yeah, we've got units being grouped up. They are about to push in. We've got a stim coming from Terran. He's going to try and push out here. Both of the players are going to try and push out and actually get some ground here, using the point defense drone to try and supplement the attacking forces, just nullifying all of the stalker attacks. And the vortex goes down again. They were probably waiting for the energy. That's probably what it was. A nuke goes down, and I think this nuke was a little preemptive, because the nuke is going to come down in just a second. Nope, perfect timing. Bam! All of those marauders that got caught are now dead, and these guys up here are in an absolutely terrible position. They're going to get absolutely smashed in just a second. The battle goes up here. There is the cloak from the mothership. The scan goes down to try and detect the units while they can, but there is just way too much here from MansonPrime and Satanachia. That was an absolutely awesome game. This is about to end in just a second. An EMP goes down as well, just in case they hadn't already won. But an absolutely awesome game here from the player from Prime and also Satanachia. And they are just going to push in here and finish off this game, because there is absolutely nothing that MaiRa or Terran can do at the moment. So nice little strategy there, getting that early mothership and then using the energy from the mothership to just take out and really just decimate all of the forces that were present. So that was just an awesome game. And there we go. There is the GG from the two players, and the game has ended. So thanks very much for watching, guys. That was an awesome game. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Cheers.